My name is Melissa Carter, and I never thought one careless sentence would cost me my marriage. But life has a cruel way of teaching lessons, and mine came on a night that began like any other. I was 32, living in Austin, Texas, and married to Michael Carter for 6 years. He was steady, dependable, and kind, a man who never raised his voice, who made sure our bills were paid, who always came home when he said he would. To anyone on the outside, we were the perfect couple. But inside, I was restless. I don't even know why. Maybe it was because social media kept flashing pictures of glamorous people with adventurous partners. Maybe it was because some of my friends married alpha types, confident men who swept them off their feet with big gestures. Or maybe it was just my own immaturity, a hunger for drama instead of appreciating the quiet love I already had. That night, Michael and I were sitting on the couch. He had made dinner, like he often did after a long day at his accounting job. We were talking about the future, kids, vacations, the possibility of moving into a bigger home. And then I said it. Honestly, Michael, I only married you because real men weren't available. The word slipped out half as a joke, half as a truth I had been nursing deep inside. Michael froze. The smile faded from his face. His fork clattered onto the plate. What did you just say? His voice was quiet, almost disbelieving. I tried to laugh it off. Oh, come on, don't take it so seriously. You know what I mean, you're safe. Reliable. Not exactly exciting. But his eyes didn't soften. They hardened. That was the moment I realized I had crossed a line I could never uncross. The next few days were the quietest of my marriage. Michael didn't yell. He didn't argue. He simply withdrew. He still went to work, still came home, but the warmth was gone. He stopped making jokes, stopped reaching for my hand, stopped asking about my day. I tried to brush it off. He'll get over it, I told myself. He knows I didn't mean it. But late at night, lying in bed, I could feel the wall between us growing taller. One evening, he finally spoke. Melissa, he said, his voice steady, do you really believe that? That I'm not a real man? I hesitated too long before answering. And in that pause, I saw the pain flicker across his face. I just meant you're different. You're stable, you know? Not like the guys I used to date. He looked at me for a long time, then turned off the lamp and lay down. The silence swallowed me whole. Over the next month, things deteriorated. Michael stopped trying. No more little notes in my lunch bag. No more surprise coffees at work. No more effort to keep our connection alive. One Saturday morning, he told me he was going to the gym. Michael never went to the gym. When I asked why, he said simply, because I need to feel like a man again. That cut deeper than I expected. Soon, his routine changed. He started dressing sharper, working out regularly, and spending more time out with friends I had never met before. He seemed happier, lighter, even while I felt myself unraveling. And then came the night he didn't come home. It was 2 a.m. when the text lit up my phone. I'm staying at Jake's tonight. Don't wait up. But something in my gut told me it wasn't Jake's place he was at. A week later, I found out the truth. Michael had met someone, Hannah Miller, a woman he met at the gym. She was bright, ambitious, full of energy, and most importantly, she respected him. When I confronted him, he didn't deny it. Melissa, he said, looking me straight in the eyes, Hannah makes me feel like the man I've always wanted to be. She sees me. She doesn't cut me down. She doesn't joke that I'm not good enough. The words hit like a hammer. I begged him to reconsider, to come back home, to work on what we had. But he shook his head. You had me for 6 years, Melissa. And all it took was one sentence to show me how little you valued me. I deserve better. And just like that, he left. The house felt emptier than ever. Every corner reminded me of him. The coffee mugs he loved, the chair he always sat in, the scent of his cologne still lingering in the closet. I tried to distract myself with work, friends, and endless hours scrolling online. But everywhere I turned, there were couples smiling, holding hands, building lives together. And I realized something heartbreaking. I had that, and I threw it away. I replayed that night over and over in my mind. Why did I say it? Why did I feel the need to belittle him? Was it insecurity? Was it boredom? Or was it simply arrogance, thinking he would never leave me, no matter what I said. Now I was alone, and he was with someone who cherished him. Weeks turned into months. Michael filed for divorce. I signed the papers with trembling hands. Friends tried to comfort me, but their words felt hollow. They hadn't been there in the quiet moments, the ones where I felt the weight of my mistake pressing on my chest. I stalked Hannah's social media sometimes. Pictures of her and Michael at the park, at concerts, at family gatherings. He looked happy in a way I hadn't seen in years. And every time I saw his smile, my heart twisted, because I knew he would never look at me that way again. It took me a long time to accept the truth. Michael wasn't weak. He wasn't less of a man. He was strong in ways that actually mattered. Loyalty, patience, kindness, commitment. Qualities I should have cherished, but instead mocked. By chasing the idea of what I thought a real man was, I lost the real man who had stood by me all along. And now, I live with the regret. Michael and Hannah are engaged now. I heard through mutual friends. They're planning a wedding next spring. I won't be there, of course. But in a strange way, I'm glad. Because even if I lost him, he found happiness. And maybe that's what love should have been about all along. Wanting the best for the person you care about. Even if it isn't with you. If there's one thing I've learned, it's this: words matter. The things you say to the person you love can either build them up or tear them down. And sometimes, a single careless sentence can destroy everything you've built together. So if you have someone steady, someone loyal, someone who shows up for you every single day, cherish them. Don't belittle them for not being exciting enough. Don't mock the very qualities that make them dependable. Because one day, they might find someone who does appreciate them. And you'll be left with nothing but regret. As I write this, I sit alone in the same house we once shared. The laughter is gone. The warmth is gone. But the lesson remains. I told him I only married him because real men weren't available. And he left. And now I understand he was the real man all along. I just wasn't wise enough to see it.